Namo Amida Butsu. Part 3. Function of the name. What is the doctrinal position of the name, Myogo, in Shinshu? The position of the name, Namo Amida Butsu, is vitally important in Shinshu teaching. Without this name, Shinshu could not be established, for it is the core of Amida's vow. 2. How and where does Amida mention his name? Amida vows in the 17th vow that his name shall be praised and recited by all Buddhas, and thereby it shall be known and recited by all sentient beings. He also vows in the 18th vow that all sentient beings who believe in and recite his name will unfailingly be born in his pure land. These vows are brought to consummation through a long period of discipline. 3. Why did Amida select the name as the most expedient means of saving all beings? There are 2 reasons at least. 1. The name is easy for ordinary people to hear, believe, and recite, while other practices such as the 6 paramitas or meditative nembutsu are limited to persons of high intelligence. 2. The name is excellent in value, for it was accomplished by Amida's sincere vow and practice. Therefore, it embodies within itself his absolute good and virtue. 4. Easiness of the nembutsu can be understood, but it is rather hard to understand why Amida's vow and practice have produced the excellence of the name. In this world, a name does not necessarily represent reality. A name is a symbol. It would seem that Amida's is just a name and nothing more. From the spiritual and religious standpoint, his name is not just an empty name, nor is his vow like an unreliable human promise. Buddha's enlightenment is indeed the perfection of wisdom and compassion. By the realization of spiritual intuitive wisdom, he comprehended the ultimate truth of thusness, and by the activities of his absolute compassion, he manifested his enlightenment in this name, as the medium of communication with all common mortals. As Shinran emphasized, this name embodies Amida's total virtue. Again, it represents the ultimate Dharma just as it is. Thus, there can be no separation between the sacred name and the reality of Dharma nature. 5. Then, may we consider the name as a stage of Buddhahood? The name is the only way in which Amida comes into contact with ordinary people in this world, that is, for us. The name Namo Amida Butsu is the only aspect of Buddha which we can feel within the limits of our human experience. 6. Thusness, or law body of Dharma nature, becomes Tathagata, or law body of expediency, to come closer to human life. And again, Tathagata manifests himself in the name to become the direct focus of our faith and recitation. These 3 steps of Amida's approach to sentient beings, however, seem to be considerably different from the 3 bodies. Why did Shinran adopt the former and put special emphasis on it? The first 2 steps of his approach were first introduced by Tan Luan, or Donrin, but Shinran emphasized the significance of the name as well. In fact, he thought that where there is the name, there is Buddha, and whenever he recited the Nembutsu, he felt as if he could meet his spiritual parent. 7. Then, is the idea of the 3 bodies not so meaningful in Shinshu? Did Shinran not respect Shakyamuni Buddha as the Nirmanakaya? Shinran also adopted the idea of the 3 bodies, and needless to say, he showed reverence to Shakyamuni as the founder of Buddhism. Apparently, Amida and Shakyamuni are 2 different Buddhas. Amida is an eternal Buddha, while Shakyamuni is an historical Buddha with a physical body. Amida proclaimed the 18th vow as the best way for all sentient beings to attain Buddhahood, but Shakyamuni taught innumerable ways to lead all kinds of people. Amida calls from his pure land, while Shakyamuni encourages us from this world to go to the realm of nirvana. In spite of such differences, these 2 Buddhas are essentially one, because the enlightenment of all Buddhas is the same. Besides, in Shinshu, Shakyamuni is believed to be the Nirmanakaya of Amida Buddha. Thus, according to Shinran's view, Shakyamuni appeared in this world solely to teach Amida's compassionate vow. Therefore, to emphasize the significance of Amida's name, is to follow Shakyamuni's teaching faithfully. 8. Are these three stages of Buddha essentially different from one another? No. Essentially, these three are one and the same. The substance of each is thusness. The water in the lake can be whipped into waves, but in essence the waves are still water. 9. It has been understood that the name reveals Dharma itself. What are the other functions of the name? Since the name is the manifestation of Dharma nature, in a religious and spiritual sense, the name represents Amida's compassionate vow to save all sentient beings. Thus, Ryo Shonin, the 8th patriarch of the Hongwanji, states in his letters, Amida Tathagata made a vow called Namo Amida Butsu. In this case, he meant by Namo Amida Butsu that those who have faith will be unfailingly saved by Amida's saving power. 10. What is the relationship of the name to the awakening of faith? Our faith is established when Amida's compassion is received by our mind through the name. Thus, the name is vitally necessary for the awakening of faith. Our minds are always changeable, but the name can be trusted. For this reason, Shinran Shonin said in the Kaikyo Shinsho that the essence of our faith is indeed the honored name of the supreme virtue. Ryo Shonin also said, it should be known that even obtaining faith is assured in the name of 6 characters. Faith does not exist separately outside the 6 characters. 11. The name might be of great value for those who comprehend it. Why are there so many people who are unaware of its significance? It is due to their immature conditioning for the awakening of faith. The past conditions differ with each person. However, Buddhas are always trying to influence each person by every possible means, including the preaching through the sutras and even invisible and inaudible cultivation. This is the purpose of the 17th vow of Amida. And because of the working of all Buddhas, even such people who are unaware of Amida Buddha yet will come sooner or later to believe in his benevolence and recite the Nembutsu. This is the religious life proclaimed in the 18th vow. Namo Amida Butsu.